One thing I wish people would start doing when it comes to the retirement planning is actually looking at the probability of living a certain threshold. So I was just running some numbers, and I was using a Grok, and I was running some Monte Carlos. I said, all right, Grok, show me what's the probability of someone living 25 years from 65 to 90 plus running out of money. I was using Monte Carlo thousands different times, all right? And we're running many different scenarios in terms of distribution percentages and whatnot. And the likelihood of both these things happening, running out of money and living till you're 90, 25 years, is just so low, man, so low. So let's just say you had a 40% probability of running out of money till you're age 90. All right, but what's the likelihood that you are going to live till you're age 90? So let's just say there's a 40% chance of that, just for simplicity. 0.4 times 0.4, that's a 16% of you living, or whatever it was a point of you, something like that. But you get, it's like 16% of both of these things happening. And I'm not, don't quote me on the exact numbers here, I can't remember what it was, but it's like, I don't know why financial planners have never looked at it like this before. It's very, very frustrating. I started thinking about this back a couple of years ago. I forgot what I was thinking about, but it's like, if you got like a 50% probability of success till you're 90 years old, and I started thinking like life expectancy and stuff. I said, why do we always just assume that everyone's going to live till they're 90 years old? Because how many people actually do? And not very many people do. And you could say all day long, well, human genome and all this stuff. My man in California knows who I'm talking about. I forgot his name off the top of my head. Good guy. But it's like, maybe. But the reality is that isn't the case. Even with it, because the human genome has been around for, 20 years now or something like that. We still don't have the vast majority of people live until 90 years old. We just don't. And so if we don't, why do we still assume then people are going to live till they're 90? By the way, it's October here in the South, in the deep South. Man, I'm out here getting some sun on my beautiful white skin, which makes my pearly yellows don't look quite so yellow. Oh, yeah. You can see my pool right there. Yeah. Liam's over here playing basketball. It's tough being a Scanlon, man. Tough being a Scanlon. Just got off the horn with these guys. Just legends. My man in New Jersey. Wife was an Irish au pair when she's a youngin'. And I said, I never heard of an Irish au pair before, because Irish are notorious for being au pairs. I asked her if she ever heard of Maeve Binchy, because I'm a big Maeve Binchy fan. And she goes, oh, yeah, you like Maeve Binchy? I said, yeah. Of course, I never read Maeve Binchy. I just looked, I said, I bet she's Irish for her name. Let me go ahead and pretend like I know who Maeve Binchy is so I can appeal. Dude, that's I'm goofing. I love Maeve Binchy. If you haven't read Maeve Binchy, you're wrong. Yeah, I guess I should turn in my man card. I should be reading I don't know, what's the guy's name? Clear and Present Danger, Thomas Clancy or something like that. Those just bore me. Actually, I did like the Thomas Clancy book. Oh, man. I forgot. Well, they got the 10th Mountain guys, Sniper in 10th Mountain. It wasn't Clear and Present Danger. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Clear and Present Danger. That's what it was. Hunt for Red October. I couldn't get into any of that stuff. I don't like those stuff. I like literature. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. So if you just look, my dad died at 76. My mom is not in a great place. My wife's dad died when, I think 55. Her mom died when she was, 72, something like that. I mean, why would we use 90 years old? Now, you can make all these things. Well, my wife's mom smoked like a chimney. My dad smoked like a chimney. My mom, physically abused her body for many, many years. Her dad had pulmonary fibrosis, but, so you can say all day long, well, we don't smoke, we don't drink, we don't drive, we don't drive motorcycles, we don't vote Democratic, so we're more happier. But it's just still the likelihood of both of us living till we're not just not high. So if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I'm dying here at my job, and I only got a 50% probability of success till I'm age 90. What happens if you reduced it to 85? I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt and just make it cherry pick. I'm just saying, what if you reduce it to 85? Well, let's just say you're now 82% probability of success of living till with your life expectancy being 85 as opposed to 90. Does that put you in a better place? And you can sit there all day long and say, yeah, but Josh, what happens if I live till 90 and now you ran out of money? I say, well, hey, what? How do you afford in your real estate? You got to put a house over your head. So what are you doing? Like my man today I was just talking to, he said he couldn't sleep because he's so worried about long-term care. And he's got tons of equity in his home. And I said, but he has no kids or anything. I said, why would you not either take reverse mortgage or just sell the house if that was really an issue? He goes, no, I agree with that now. I never thought about that before. And I'm just like, man, the danger, the scare tactics people in my business use, let's just have common sense. The likelihood of you needing long-term care isn't very high. The likelihood of you needing long-term care for a significant amount of months, if not years, is just not very high. Most people can self-insure that. The vast majority, well, it is kind of the vast majority of expenditures on long-term care are covered by insurance, be it Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, 100%. The out-of-pocket expenses, which I'll show you in my book, if I ever get to freaking publishing it every time I write in my book, I go down a new rabbit hole. Has killed me, but I enjoy it. The likelihood of you living until 90, the likelihood of you needing long-term care, the likelihood of you running out of money, all these things consolidated just shows you the likelihood of these things happening are so small. Yeah, one could happen, but in terms of running out of money and living till 90 and having long-term care, those three things together just not likely to happen. At some point, you just got to take a risk and say, no, I'm done. Life is getting too short, man. Anyway, hope your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you.